and it's part of who we are. I talked about a couple of weeks ago who we are. And we looked at our baptismal covenant. Take your hymnals, if you will, brothers and sisters, and turn to the baptismal covenant. Turn to page number 34. These are questions that we all answer when we come through the waters of baptism in the Christian church. And when we say, yes, I want to follow Jesus, this is one of the things, among many other things. First and foremost, on behalf of the whole church, I ask you, do you renounce the spiritual forces of wickedness, reject the evil powers of this world, and repent of your sin? Number one, we repent of our own sin. And then we say, do you accept the freedom and power God gives you to resist evil, injustice, and oppression in whatever forms they present themselves? If you've been through the waters of baptism, you've all said, I do. And we must. That has to be a part of true worship. What Amos' message is here is that there can be no true worship, and God doesn't even care about our worship if it's not worship in the context of loving God and loving who else? Our neighbor. Our neighbor as ourselves. Who is our neighbor? Who is our neighbor? Worship can't make up for a life of injustice and neglect of those who are in need. In the Wesley Study Bible that I have, and some of you also have, Dennis has it as well, there's a note of what Amos' message is based on. It's based on a message from the law. Worshippers of God should be concerned about those who are in need, those who lack, in our own community and all around the world. And not only to reach out personally and individually, and not only to give out handouts, because it's not all about handouts. And a lot of times the people in need, we just, in America, we just feel like if we dump enough money on a problem, it'll go away. And usually it does not. Money may be the answer. Handouts may be the necessity sometimes. But it's not all about handouts. I'm going to read this from the Wesley Study Bible. And this is in the context because what Amos is talking about is the people of God, the nation of Israel, the chosen people of God, are supposed to care about those who are in need and those who lack. And provision was made in the laws of Israel for taking care of the poor by leaving some left over of the fields and the crops. They were supposed to, in their fields, leave the corners for the poor and the widows and the orphans and the aliens, not from outer space, from the other countries. The aliens who came and lived among them. They were supposed to leave the corners of the fields to take care of their basic needs. It was written into the law of God. You must do this. God over and over talks about how much He cares about those who lack and those who are in need. It says in the note in the Wesley Study Bible, and I guess this would be a good promotion today. If you don't have this Bible, the Wesley Study Bible, it's been done in the last couple of years by a number of different Wesleyan and Methodist scholars, and they put this together. It's got wonderful notes in it. You can visit our Cokesbury website on our bank's UMC website and go through our Cokesbury link and purchase one of these, maybe for $25 or $30. It's a good tool and resource. But this is a core Wesleyan term, what John Wesley cared about, founder of our church, the Methodist Church. It says, understanding poverty in all its dimensions, economic, political, cultural, physical, and spiritual, Wesley took the command of Jesus to minister and to live with the poor with utter seriousness. For Wesleyans, aiding the poor means making them more capable to fulfill their God-given gifts. It does not mean making them dependent. Simply giving money, however important, will not release people from poverty. The other dimensions of poverty are addressed. This means, of course, that the systems causing impoverished conditions must be changed. It also means that disciples of Christ must be intimately related to the poor so that the poor can be fully brought into life-giving community. One of the most distinctive aspects of Wesley's teaching, it says, was that while one cannot earn one's salvation, one's experience of the joy of salvation is to be found in the midst of what God is doing in and among the poor. So in Amos's day, the poor were being neglected. The poor were being used and abused. They were being sued by those in power. What little they had was being taken for unjust and greedy gain. And yet they would all come together. These people in power would all come together with worship. And God said, I don't want your worship. I hate and despise your worship, because worship without justice is just a stench in the nostrils of God. Sometimes we're more concerned about worship, about the rituals of worship, than we are about living the spirit of worship. Living the spirit of worship in our lives. Who is our neighbor? Who is our neighbor? Love God, love our neighbor. Without those two elements, worship is worthless. We come together with worship in that context. Who is our neighbor? Professor in one of my classes this week, Dr. Bishop Carter, had us look at our neighbor's tag. The person sitting next to us in class had us look at the tag on the back of their shirt, whatever garment they were wearing. When he went around the room and asked us, where were those things made? Who is our neighbor? Who is our neighbor? And it was amazing, all the different places that were named. I thought last night about this as I was, after church today, anybody going home, and are you going to change clothes after church? Going to change clothes? Raise your hand if you're going to change clothes. Or at some point today, you're going to change. You'll put pajamas on tonight, probably, I know. You may want to do what I did. Last night, as I was changing clothes, taking off some more dressy type clothes, I looked at the tag of every piece of garment that I had on, every piece of clothing I had on. I looked at the tag to see where it was made. I took my sweater off, and my sweater was made in Cambodia. No, I'm sorry, this one was made in China. I took my button-up shirt, which is the same brand name button-up shirt underneath my sweater. I took it off. It was made in Indonesia. I took my t-shirt off that I had underneath my button-up shirt, and it was made in Mexico. I took my pants off. They were made in, I think, Pakistan. I didn't have a tag in my socks. I was wearing my socks. And I did look at my underwear. It's amazing, all the different, just to take off one set of clothes. And I thought about it. I wonder who made each article of clothing. And I wonder that person who made that sweater that I had on, I wonder that brown sweater that I love and wear all the time, and that's about all I wear. I wonder who made that sweater. I wonder what that person's life is really like. I wonder how long they had to work that day they made that sweater. I wonder how old they were. I wonder how old that person was. I wonder if they were just a child laborer. I wonder how much they got paid that day in communist China or in Indonesia or in Cambodia or Pakistan. I wonder what kind of home they went home to that night when they got off of work. I wonder if they had a home to go home to. I I wonder if they did have a home to go home to, what happened